Hi guys, it's Mark Wood. I'm the director and founder of Wire Electricians and Fusebox UK. We're electrical contractors. We're based in York, and we carry out electrical work throughout the whole of Yorkshire. I've recently asked my Facebook friends for any questions that they need answering, and I promised that I'd answer them on Facebook or do a video. So this is top tip number 6. This was asked by two people actually, by John and by Sam. And basically the question was, how do I assess what electrical work needs doing when I go and look at a property? I think from two different angles from these two different people. One, John, I think it's his father that owns property and wants to know if it needs rewiring, and Sam is a property investor, and I think he's looking from the angle of when he goes to view a property, assessing what work needs doing before he commits to the purchase. So it's quite a long topic, this one, but I'm going to try and shorten it and go through the main points, and hopefully this will help. So before I start, you can only get an initial idea from looking at an electrical installation visually. Obviously there's cables under floors and in walls that you can't see. So I would always recommend, this is obviously initial idea, but I would always recommend getting an electrician to come and do a full inspection and test before committing to anything. Obviously that shows that the cabling under the floors and what you can't see is okay. And unfortunately we see a lot of poor workmanship and not great DIY, and sometimes that can't be seen. So always, this is a great initial first idea, but always get inspection and test. And I might start talking about fuse boxes and consumer units. I don't know if everyone knows what they sort of look like and what they're looking for. So if you don't, I think the best thing to do is message me, and I can get someone to send out sort of a fact sheet with some pictures on, so you actually know what you're looking for when you're looking around. Right, so the first question, the first thing to start with then is, sorry I keep looking down, I've got some notes, but it's quite a lot to remember on this one. Yeah, the first one is that, which is a bit different to what people would think. I hear so often that people go in property and see a new consumer unit, a modern fuse box consumer unit with the switches on. They go in, see that, and think, oh yeah, that's great, it's all been done. It's not always the case. That could just be covered, if it hasn't been done properly, that could just be covering things up. So my advice would be, before you do anything, is find out how old the property is when it was built. I guess the estate agent, if you're buying a property, will know or have an idea of that. Or you can normally tell obviously by what it looks like outside and the other properties on the street as well. So if you can get an idea of when the property was built, that gives you a good idea of when the wiring was put in. Now, there's different ages for wiring, and you can sort of rule out quite a bit by knowing how old the wiring is. So always find out the age of the property first. Then the first thing to do is, when you go into the property, is check the fuse box or consumer unit. Is it a new consumer unit, or is it one of the old black fuse boxes with the old rewirable fuses? If you get there and it's a new consumer unit and it's got stickers on the front, because if it's been done properly, the electrician should put a sticker on the front to say who it was, when he did it. If you can get that, or even better, get hold of a test sheet, because it should have been tested as well if the fuse box was changed. That's quite important. A lot of people have fuse boxes done and don't get a test sheet. That's wrong. It's got to be tested when the fuse box is done. So if you're looking to buy a property and there's a new fuse box but no test sheet, alarm bells should start ringing, because it should have had a test sheet. So yeah, if you get the new fuse box and it's got the stickers on, in a test sheet ideally, or I hope you should be really, then you're pretty much okay in terms of wiring, age, and obviously it's got the fuse box. If you get there and it's a new fuse box but no sticker, and like I say, no test sheet, for me alarm bells would start ringing a little bit, and you need to sort of use your age of the property knowledge to work out what the score is. If it's a new fuse box with no stickers but it's built before 1970, potentially there could be no earthing in the lighting, so you could be looking at the lighting rewiring. If it's a new fuse box and it's been before 1950, 1950, you could be looking at VIR wiring, which is vulcanized rubber, and that would mean it needs a rewire, and even lead cabling. So you probably might be looking at a full rewire then. So just because it's got a new fuse box doesn't mean the wiring's okay. So you need to check the edges as well. Obviously, if you get there and it's an old, like I say, brown, black fuse box with the old rewirable fuses, that needs to be replaced. And then obviously go to your age as well. If it's pre-1970s, earthing in the lighting, and pre-1950s could be a whole rewire. So that's just to bear in mind. Once you've obviously checked the fuse box, you know the age of your property, you know the wiring, you just check the earth bonding, which is the main earth onto the gas, oil and water supply. Now you should find them. You should find the water at the stop tap, main stop tap into the house, not the one in the street. The gas at the gas meter, and the oil at the oil pipe where it enters the house. And what you should find is a green and yellow cable attached to the pipe with a clamp. If that's missing, that's quite important as well, and that needs rectifying as well. Obviously, in terms of trying to judge what the cost would be, if you're an investor and you're walking around a property and want to get an initial idea of what the costs of these things could be, just as a very, very basic price, obviously areas of the country and size of property would obviously change the price, but as a ballpark figure, for a new fuse box, for a fuse box changing to a consumer unit, you need to be looking at £400 to £500. For the earth bonding, you'll be looking at about £200 to £300 for the mouldering. If it's a pre-1970s but before 1950, after 1950, sorry, so it's probably just a rewire of the lighting because of no earthing. You're looking at probably about £1,000, £1,500, and then obviously pre-1950, if it hasn't been rewired, it's the old rubber cabling, you're looking at a full rewire, and that's hard to say because that could vary massively on the size of the house. But yeah, if you're going to go for a rewire, you're probably best getting a proper quote on that. But I hope that helps, guys. If anyone wants to contact me, you can message me on Facebook, or you can contact me on email, which is mwood@yorkshire-electrician.com, or you could look at our website, which is www.yorkshire-electrician.com. Thanks, guys. Cheers.